2, 1.
Here we go!
Well, welcome everybody. I had to hop on there and just talk to you guys a little bit about The Expanse. I just finished watching the season finale, episode number 6 for the season, which also winds up being the series finale. You guys have known from the beginning, I have loved this show. It started out with Sci-Fi Channel, and then thank goodness that Prime wound up picking it up and continuing it. This has really been, in my opinion, some of the best sci-fi that's been on TV for quite some time. To me, it kind of rivals the remake of Battlestar Galactica, which I thought was a fantastic series. My hope was it was going to end on a high note and maybe end even better than what Galactica did. Good news is I think it fulfilled it. There was so much going on. So the show, the 6 seasons that we got, basically went through the books 1 through 6 and went through everything through those 6 books. They wound up leaving it here, and they didn't call it an ending or a cancellation so much as a good pausing point. And I know some people were very disappointed. I've already heard from a couple people who were bummed that we didn't get to hear, because they did leave several threads up in there. The proto-molecules, what's up with that? The Laconians, the ring entities, we didn't find out a lot about them. And they're like, well, why didn't we? Well, we would find out more later, because the next 3 books, 7, 8, and 9, start taking place 30 years like in the future from here. So it's kind of like a good spot to end it. But, did they actually end it? This season was a very narrow focus on the story dealing with Marco and Naris, the Free Navy, and their war. And I think it was probably the right call. There was so much to do and so much to go on, and they only had 6 episodes to do it. And I think they nailed it. The one thing that this show has done is the special effects and everything have been fantastic. They probably had the best sci-fi battle that I have seen, probably even better than Galactica, in a long time. When they had to assault the station, it was an absolutely fantastic battle. They had to assault to take out the rail guns, and in order to get through the rings without being destroyed from the rail guns in the first place, Holden came up with an absolutely brilliant plan. They even said, wow, even the Belters would be proud of something like that. And it worked to perfection. But you almost have to watch it, and I hope you guys do, because the special effects and what they had to do was absolutely incredible. I am a little sad that we don't get to finish some of the story plots, but I totally understand with their limited time with what they can do. They have to go through the rings, and Marco Inaris winds up bringing his fleet through, and they know they're kind of screwed after the battle. They've managed to capture the station, but they're in no shape to do anything. They don't have any fleets left. And Naomi comes up with this really great, because she's been studying the rings all season. And it culminates into this final episode, because in the end, she's like, the ring entity seems to come alive and they become active when there's a lot of mass and a lot of energy that comes through the gate at one time. So she comes up with this pretty brilliant move that, you know what we're going to do? we're going to go ahead and take out Marco by when he's going to come through the gate. They're going to take the disabled ship that's out there, basically set the core, explode it, and put all this mass through there. Hopefully that wakes him up. It winds up working, to perfection. Um, we don't really know what the ring entities are. They didn't really delve into it. I know when Holden first encountered them, I think it was in like season 4. Um, they had some theories going on. It's about the proto-molecules. Remember, Marcos had taken the proto-molecule sample and given it to Admiral Durante, who abandons Marco because he's requesting. They've been allies, the Inner and the Belters, and he says, "I need more defensive ships. I need more help." And the admiral's like, "Yeah, you were basically a useful idiot. We appreciate what you have done, but I'm, kind of going out after the gods." And they don't really explain much when after he says that he has his sights set on the gods. Um, uh, the humanity, it's continuing to set in the sights of space. Um, Holden's biggest thing was he goes, if those entities awaken, we don't know if we're able to put them back to sleep or if they'll go away or if they'll be here forever. We don't really know what has happened because it doesn't go that far. So hopefully they're going to wind up doing something. We do get a peek at Laconia. Kara and Zan, which were the two kids. Remember Zan? Her brother had died, and the dogs, as she calls them, from Laconia, wind up repairing him. She takes him back home to show her parents that, oh, look, he's fine. His eyes are all done. He's like, oh my gosh, it's kind of like Pet Cemetery. Parents freak out. Dad actually slashes him. The blood comes out and it's black, not actually red, but then it instantly heals. So we get a glimpse that the protomolecules and Laconia, there's so much at work with what they've been doing, and that really the Belters, the Mars, the Inners, they have no idea really what's going on there. So anyway, they at least touch on it, and we get to see a little bit more that they didn't leave it off of on a cliff. Earth, Mars, and the Belt need to form an alliance together, and that's what they do. And they've really got some. It's kind of like Star Wars, where they're sitting around negotiating, but this was way better than episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars. They wanted a governing body comprised of representatives from all three, but the Belters were only going to get one vote, and of course Mars and Earth would get two, which means the Belters would be outvoted probably in everything that they do. And Drummer's like, that's not going to happen. And she's got a really great speech. Her exact comment was, "I will not be reasoned back into my place. Belters are promised a future so long as it remains convenient. We are given a voice as so long as Inners control the comm. We have a vote just as long as we can always be voted down." It was a great speech. She has been a great character, and I think she particularly shined this season. I love to see her growth as a character throughout. Um, Basically, what they decide to do is um, they Holden kind of agrees, and was said Marco Anaris was evil. He wasn't necessarily wrong about what was going on and happening to the Belters, but he was evil. He was in it for self glory, basically. But he had a point. He tapped into something, and they decided to come up with basically a union. So they got to have a trade union. So they basically put together this trade union, and they're like, but if it's an earther or whoever, they wouldn't let a belter be in place. So in order to make this work, they said, James, you need to step up and make history again. He's like, I don't want to, but in the end, it made sense. somebody that he's nonpartisan, and it wound up being a great move. And they basically, he's going to run the trade union, but he goes, I've got some stipulations that I want in writing. And that was absolutely fantastic, because it all leads into the very ending. Um, anyway, right before the big battle, where the Free Navy's coming through the gate, the plan works, but you can see Naomi. She's very sad because she realized she's going to be killing her son, and you can see her pause. And there's this all these feelings and everything coming in, flushing through her. It was just so well done. She does a flashback. She can see baby and kind of going through bits and pieces of her life and the growing up, the pain this is going to cause, but she knows she has to do it, and she does. She winds up hitting the button, causing everything to happen, and the son Philip, he started realizing that his father really wasn't in it for the Belters. It was all about personal glory. He confronts his father and he goes, don't you see what this is about? And the son goes, I do now. And he's come to realize it. The cool part of the ending on this was she thinks she's killed her son, but we see a flashback little scene, and Philip realizes what his dad is, actually has somebody relieve him in the station, and he takes off, winds up getting in, basically like in a small escape ship, and takes off right before they enter the ring. And he's actually saved. Nobody knows it yet. And you can see the transponder. You have to put your name in, who it is. He changes it from Philip, um, and changes it to his last name to Nagata, which is his mother's name. So he winds up surviving, and it would be really cool. I'll be interested to find out if they ever touch on it, if they find out if he goes his own way and whatnot. But anyway, that was really great that he took his mother's surname. He wound up surviving. Um, and then Holden, this is the ending, and I know it's a little bit different from the books, but I thought they did a great job with it. The ending was Holden standing up there giving the speech to everybody, um, how he was nominated to, be the free trade president, and one of his stipulations. So he read a script that was prepared perfectly, and what was really great about it was as soon as its script end, Christian, she walks up to say something, but he goes off script and continues. And he goes, I had some terms that I set in place, and one of them was that drummer would be my vice president. And with that, he goes, I am resigning effective immediately, and drummer takes over as president. Now Christian's really upset with him. Oh, and she calls him duplicitous, and really was like, how could you do it? She goes, I'm going to undo this all, and he goes, don't. Deep in your heart, basically, this is the only way it's going to succeed, is if a belter winds up running it. This is the only way. And she basically thinks about it, shakes his hand, and says, well, let's hope that you're right. It was an absolutely fantastic twist. It was a great ending. And then the entire show gets summed up basically in a paragraph. And I'll read it for you in a second because I had to pull the quote down. That Holden and Naomi, they're on the Rocinante, they're in their quarters, sitting there, relaxing, just talking through things. And, they had resigned. They're free to do what they want. And it was great. Basically, the family has come back together. Everybody survived, from the original crew, all except for Alex from before. But this season, And they're like, well, what are we going to do now? He goes, did I make the right decision? And um, she goes, you did, because you didn't do anything for glory. But here's how it ends. And her speech was fantastic, and it sums up the heart of this show. She goes, you followed your conscience in the hope that others would follow theirs. You didn't do it for a reward or a pat on the head. The universe never tells us if we did right or wrong. It's more important to try and help people and to know that you did. More important that someone else's life gets better than for you to feel good about yourself. You never know the effect you might have on someone. Not really. Maybe on cruel things you said haunts you forever. Maybe one moment of kindness gives them comfort or courage. Maybe you said the one thing that they needed to hear. It doesn't matter if you ever know, you just have to try. And if you think back all the way to the beginning of the series, he made some potentially really good decisions and potentially really bad decisions, especially affecting him personally. But in the end, it was great. Everybody, I wanted to let you know I thought this was a fantastic ending, and they had to end it probably this way. I thought they did a great job with it. Um, I really hope in the works that they're able to put some stuff in, because the next three books, there's rumors it could be a mini series or a movie that they make specifically for addressing it. That would be great to see. I would love to see what they do with that. But in the meantime, season six, great ending. On my CGC grade, I'm going to give the series as a whole, because this is the finale. I'm giving this a 9.0. I think this was an absolutely fantastic sci fi series. If you are a sci fi fan, go watch it. If you've never seen an episode, start at the beginning, keep going. It gets better and better each season, and things tend to really make a lot of sense. In the end, they wrap it all up very well. Anyway, I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. I just had to give you my thoughts on this, since I just watched it. I may wind up watching the ending again. Maybe I'll have a different opinion, but this is my initial reaction. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Smash the like and subscribe button. Pass this on, forward it on to your friends, and definitely leave your comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What are your thoughts? Did you like it, not like it? Love to hear from you guys. I can't wait to read some of your comments and then comment back to you. Anyway, we will talk to you soon. Thanks again.